Alright, so I'm going to try to go through this video kind of quick. I'm just going to be going through kind of all the new features of Coffee 9. Start finish. So we start it up. It will auto mount. These two windows probably won't be here. Well, this one for sure won't be here. Those are just kind of debugging windows. And let me move that one out of the way. So it'll auto mount. And then let's go in real quick. Alright, so once we are in, let's see here. As you can see, the radar map starts working already. You can right click on it and click show passive, neutral, hostile, boss, or player mobs, and it will show those ones if they're there. Show players. And as you can see, whatever way I turn, it kind of shows your player icon, what way you're looking. You can right click the mobs and click remote view, and you can kind of get a little remote view of what they're doing, where they're going. Well, except if they despawn or something, then it wigs out. So let's click a different one. He's in a cave. And then to disable that, I'm going to press 0 to bring this up, and I just uncheck that. And I'll go over kind of how to get to that. So you're going to click the coffee settings button, this little GIF. This mod settings won't be here in the release because you're no longer going to enable the mods that way. Instead, so in general coffee settings, so we have the hide UI key. I have it set to right shift by default. And then we have 0, which brings up the clicked UI, and that's how I was bringing that thing up. So I press 0, brings up the clicked UI, all the different mods on there. You can hide each thing. Hide radar map, it bugs out sometimes, but hide or show the radar map or the coordinates or the armor HUD, which you cannot see because I'm not wearing any armor. So let me get some armor real quick. I don't know, just throw that on, see it pops up once you throw some stuff on. So you can choose to hide that. Whoops, wrong key. In here if you wanted to. Hide armor HUD, show armor HUD. You can choose to hide or show these keystrokes here, and then full screen mode puts it in full screen. Woo! External GUI with full screen mode. Wiggity what? Yeah. So I'm going to be removing the mod settings. This isn't going to be how you adjust mod settings anymore. Instead, you're going to do it. The hotkey settings is still pretty much the same. You can just set hotkeys all through here. There's a few that I still need to add, but I'll add those later. Yeah, so you bring up your clicked UI, and if a mod has settings for it, then you would right click it. So like auto totem, right click, click settings right there, and it brings up the settings for auto totem. So switch totem when health is at or less than. I have it set to 2. So it'll switch to a totem in my hotbar if my health goes below, gets 2 or below. Hitbox, right click it, settings, it has hitbox width and height. Hit reach, same thing, hit reach modifier. Trigger bot settings, choose whether you want it to automatically switch to a weapon or not. And there's tooltips for almost everything. Some of them are a little wacky, you still gotta adjust them. But if you hover your mouse over it, then it gives you a little description of what exactly it does, like, oh, auto weapon, whether or not trigger bot will auto switch to a weapon or just attack. So, glass X-ray, so that one, so it uses an exploit with glass blocks to do X-ray. So right click that, click settings. So glass items, so dirt, stone, gravel, sand, deep slate, and netherrack by default. But you can go ahead and add other items here if you want to. They have to be blocks. And some of them don't work yet, but the majority of them will work just fine. But I think this is all you need to really do. Oops. For those, personally. I wouldn't use it on grass because for some reason it turns the grass all white, like everywhere, and I don't know why exactly yet. But yeah, so how you use that is you have to have at least one of these items in your inventory. or one of each of them. So if you want to, these are items that you're going to be able to see through. I think the tooltip says that actually. Yeah, add blocks to this list that you want to see through. So dirt, stone, gravel, sand, deep slate, and netherrack. That's what I want to see through. So I have one of each of those items in my inventory. And then also for glass x-ray to work, you need at least one glass block. So one glass block and then one of each of whatever you have in your list. You can add them at different times. You don't have to have them right now. Like, let's say I have the list of all 6 of these in there, but I don't have all 6 of them. Maybe I don't have netherrack right now. Then it doesn't matter. If I enable it, it's not going to crash or anything. I can get netherrack later, and then it'll turn it into a glass block. But yeah, so I'll show kind of how that works right now. So when you enable it, if you have a glass block and your filter items, then as you can see, they all turn to glass. It says glass over them. Boop, boop, boop. They all say glass now. So you would use one of those items to be able to see through things. Boom. So let's go in here a bit. Just kind of clear a little area. Passkeys. So we have kind of a little glass x-ray thing going on here. You can see the ores. I made it so the ores light up, but the ores only light up within the chunk that you're in. Or sometimes you have to get close to them first and then they'll light up. But other than that, it's pretty nice. You can see all the iron and the copper ore, coal ore down there. It's a nice little exploit. Just turn on instant break if you're in survival mode, and then you can just mine with the dirt block pretty much, and then whenever you want to see, just go like that. Create little windows for yourself. You can see through stone also, because I have that as one of my filter blocks. So yeah, pretty fun little exploit. It's cool. That's glass x-ray, and then upon disabling it, turns them back into normal: sand, gravel, stone, deep slate, dirt, stuff like that. No blind. So you have to be blinded once per game session, or else it crashes if you try to enable this. So you have to be blinded once first. /effect. Blindness. So you have to be blinded first, and then you can turn it on. So that's once per game session. So if I restart Minecraft, then I'll have to be blinded once again. But I mean, if you go out to the, like if I right click, save and quit, and I go back in, then it's fine. I can have no blind on still, and it makes it so that I'm never blinded. I think no nausea. No, there's another one that's like that too. Maybe it's no levitate. I don't know. It's one of the no's. It's not no slow fall. One of the ones that does a similar effect, you have to have it first. I'll kind of go through and check which one later, and I'll make sure that it's on the tooltip, kind of like this one. It says it right there, must be blinded once per game session or else you crash. Okay, so waypoints. I had just got done adding waypoints and it kind of bugged everything else on that list, so I'll go through and fix those. But alright, so waypoints, you click settings, you have a hotkey. You can change this to something, let's say, I'll just, I don't know, I'll put it to 0. I'll put it to 1. So that's going to be my set waypoints hotkey. So when I have that set in the settings for it, if I, oh yeah, let me enable array list. So if I enable waypoints, upon enabling it, you get this little waypoints list popping up here. And as you can see in the top right corner, you have a little RGB. It'll slowly transition through it for the array list. But yeah, so waypoints, you get the little list. So I'm going to go to some coordinates. I don't know, just this little island here. And then I'm going to press my set waypoints hotkey that I had pressed, or that I had set in the settings there. So I'm going to go ahead and press it. 1. It pops up with this little box. You get the name of the waypoint. I'm just going to waypoint 1. And then you would click OK. It pops up there. And then if you hover over it, you can see it shows the coordinates that are saved there. And you can teleport to and from that whenever. Boop. Doesn't matter how far you are. So let's say I have another hotkey over here, or another waypoint somewhere over here. I would suggest setting them in water because the fall distance on servers, since they changed it, you take fall damage unless, you set it in water like this. If you're really high and you try to teleport to a lower spot, then you take fall damage. So, but yeah, so I'm going to press 1, and then brings up that little thing. I'm going to name it waypoint 2, click OK. So I can teleport to waypoint 1, I think, and then waypoint 2, passkeys. So yeah, it's pretty useful. You can name little waypoints and stuff, scroll over them, it gives you the coordinates. You can right click them, click delete waypoint if you don't want them there anymore, and set new waypoints. Waypoint 1, oops, click OK. So yeah, that's waypoints. It's useful. Disabling it makes the waypoint list go away. Oh, real quick, oops, another thing. You can double click this to expand or collapse it if you don't want it there all the time. Just takes up a little less space. And you are going to be able to move it. Right now you can't, but yeah. So that's waypoints. And close that. Okay, so I went over all that stuff. I right-clicked that. You can right-click the mobs for remote view. And you can choose which ones you want to show. You can move the radar map around if you don't like it right there. Oh god, makes it bug out every now and then though. Lock it into place. Oh, that didn't lock it into place, whatever. Few little bugs that I gotta work out still, but oh well. You can move the coordinates if you don't like them right there. You can put them over here or wherever you want. So you can move that stuff around. You can move this little settings GIF button around now too. Showed all that pretty much. If you'd like to donate, then you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Rixef. And here's for joining the official Discord, the cafe. And yeah, that's pretty much it.